It's a so I was in a group. It's called on Facebook. It's called Black People Love All Inclusive Vacations. Like it's so weird to me. There's a Facebook group for everything. And one of the people posted like, "Would you take a vacation just all by yourself, like out of the country, out of state, like on a flight type away vacation, all by yourself, leisurely?"
It sounds lovely and scary at the same time.
That's what I said.
Within the 50 states, I probably, well, the states and the territories, I probably wouldn't have much of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Like
I wouldn't be,
Apprehension?
yeah, there we go. I'm not as apprehensive within the states and the territories as I am going abroad by myself. I think the first couple of times I take a trip across the waters to Europe or Africa, I want a person or people with me. But here
now,
in the States,
is that just to have fun with the person, or it's like safety, or it's like a little bit of everything?
a little bit of everything, because I don't want to be out there by myself in something new and then something happens and I'm literally by myself. Not saying that something would happen, but it's just more of a precaution, I guess, going, to a foreign country alone. But in the states themselves, because I know so many people across the states, it's not as much of a concern being by myself, because I know at the very least I will be able to find a way home. But yeah.
I don't know why the Wizard of Oz just came to my mind when you said "Find a Way Home," and I just couldn't find the song.
You want me to go get my ruby slippers?
I look forward to the day when I can take a solo trip.
Really? Like to anywhere?
I want to go abroad. I'll travel within the United States by myself anyway, anytime. But I really look forward to the day when I can travel outside the country by myself.
There's no place like home.
I've done it before. Now I was much younger, and I'm not really a risk taker. So the interesting thing is, I traveled by myself on 2 trips, and they were out of the country. I mean, technically, I was already living out of the country. I traveled to other countries, but I had a rule that I did not go out at night. Like, so I did kind of cultural touristy stuff during the day, and when the sun was going down, I headed back to my hostel, and that was it for the night. And then I came back out when the sun rose, and that was just my rule. I feel a little overconfident about my safety as long as the sun is out. Like, I feel like I can handle anything in the daytime. Nighttime stuff gets a little dicey.
Speedy behaviors.
Take it back to the telly.
I think that's actually a good
rule to go by if you do it.
Now, yeah. You said you stayed in a hostel. Now, I'm scared to stay in a hostel by myself. I wouldn't do a hostel if I was going by myself.
I prefer it. I'm older now, so at the time it was a financial decision, but it's like younger students, you know what I mean? So it like gives you some people who are checking for you when you come home.
True.
If you staying in a hotel by yourself and you don't go back, ain't nobody gonna know till your family figures it out months later.
I'm over here with raised eyebrows because y'all saying hostel, and immediately I want to.
You thinking about the movie?
The movie.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting?
Film.
I stayed in hostels around the time that the first one came out, and when I saw it was a horror movie, I knew I could not watch it because I was like, I utilize this resource and it is great. So you're not gonna make it scary, because and I never watched them, and to me they're not scary. They're great.
Every once in a while I set these little individual goals for myself, and traveling, be it abroad or even in the continental United States and or its territories, traveling alone is always something that I wanted to do, or so for me, because I used to be a person that was really dependent on other people, like just I don't know how to explain it, but like I just would feel more so comfortable like somebody going with me because then they could do all the heavy lifting of certain stuff. Or like even when I went to Cuba, my homegirl spoke Spanish, so I really didn't have nothing to worry about. When I got off the plane, she had a taxi waiting for me. She had met several people around the city already, and we had dinner plans and just all this other random stuff that I know I would not have done. So I think as a, huh?
Actually feel the opposite. And I know I understand exactly what you're saying, and it definitely fits your personality. But traveling by myself, I don't have to fit somebody else's expectations for a trip. I don't have to make any
yeah.
ahead of time. So like I'm taking things 1 hour at a time. So there's
what
no pressure to plan. Like you wake up and you're like, I want to do something with my trip, but I'll take a nap. And then you wake up in the afternoon, you're like, I'll try something now. You know what I mean? Like it's just so flexible.
Right. I mean, but that's part of my deal. Like when like if I go somewhere for the first time and I don't know anything, like I wouldn't go to a non-English, predominantly English speaking place because I just don't freaking know these languages. Which is why I'm breaking my neck to learn these languages so I can take these independent trips and do stuff on my terms. Luckily for me, I haven't ever traveled with somebody where we didn't have the same travel style. As far as, and that's really the big key with traveling with other people, because if you are not I want to go to this place and this place and this place and this place, and you cool with what you're saying, I'm gonna take a nap right now, that is not a good travel
No, that's
mix.
not cool.
But me and a girl, several times in our trip in Cuba, we'll be like, yeah, we're gonna go such and such, and we both then got into bed and laid down and woke up at 11 o'clock like, oh well, I guess we'll go now.
No,
So,
I have never.
you have to really be careful. Like traveling with somebody is almost like a legitimate relationship, because if y'all not on the same page, that trip will be terrible.
Right.
I have never had the desire like to ever travel by that idea has never crossed my mind to travel somewhere just me on a vacation. But it's like that was in the past. I feel like me today would be kind of excited about doing that. It seems so crazy. I'm coming into that realization, like it's almost like on this call as I'm listening to y'all, like I'm like going somewhere by myself, but it's like I'm sitting here thinking about it. If I was just, I don't know, I went to within the United States, I just went to San Diego and just decided to live it up. I think I would be okay.
Yeah, because it's on your own terms. It's really a lot like what Mel was saying. Like you get to look at stuff from your eyes and not necessarily the eyes of a person.
I usually am the boss on the trips, though.
But still, even if you are, it's still totally different than you just doing it yourself. Because if you're the boss, you still got to say to these people, hey, come on. You got to not necessarily be responsible, but you still got to kind of either drag them along and make sure they like what you're going to do. When you by yourself, it's like she said, I'm going to go downstairs and get me some water and a croissant. And I'm going to go back up here and go to bed and come back out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
On those trips, I had some very deep realizations. Like when you're traveling by yourself, you learn who you are on your own terms. And there's no other opportunity to learn that, because even if you're by yourself at home, now you are responding to your life's responsibilities in a way that when you're traveling, you're not. And if you travel with others, you're responding to them. So if it's you traveling outside of your normal day-to-day responsibilities and it's just you, for the first time, you start to figure out, who am I when I'm not responding to other people and other circumstances? And then the deepest realization for me, and it's like two sides of a coin. One is when I'm encountering things on the trip, it's like, well, there's nobody to handle this but me. So what am I going to do? How am I going to figure this out? And then conversely, at the end of it, I have memories that nobody on earth has but me.
Yep.
Like you know how you have memories and you bring them up to the person you were with and remember this? Like I have memories that I can't do this. It's just me in my brain. I know them. And then the feeling that you get It can be scary, but it's powerful when you're walking around and you're like, no one on earth knows where I am right now.
Yep.
That's probably a feeling you've never felt in your life.
Mm-hmm.
There's always somebody who knows where you are. And of course it's scary, but
That sounds crazy. I need somebody to know where I'm at all the time.
I mean, they can know generally, but no, I totally feel what Mel is saying. And that's one of the reasons why I want to do it, because I ain't ever, like, well, y'all know how much I enjoy living by myself and being by myself now. So to do a solo trip is like icing on the cake. It's like, I did it. Like, what's next? I'm actually trying to plan one for my birthday this year.
My parents gave me the freedom to travel by myself when I was a teenager, and I think that's why a get up and go means nothing to me, because I was like 16 going to, where do we go? Oh, 16 going to LA and like by myself playing, and that was when ain't no cell phone, not a cell phone, nothing. You find you a payphone.
That's it.
Or whatever it was. I went there and
Wow.
I went to, it wasn't about.
Now, are you going these places to stay with
Boston.
family? Or just...
No, they
you talk
were
about-
educational experiences.
What did they do to empower you? Like you said, they empowered you.
Because they were just like, I got the opportunity and they were like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. They said, okay, let's do what we got to do so you can go. This small town girl in a city of 13,000 people. And they said, I'm going to send my baby, my girl, across the country in both directions by herself. She knows no one until she gets there to meet someone. And she then is going to get on a plane and come home. And the only way we can communicate is we send you a letter while you gone, or you find the phone, the pay phones, or the phones that they have accessible for you. And that's how you get to communicate with said child. Like, I'm from the country. That's not something that people from the country do. I went places that my parents hadn't been by myself when I was a kid. They hadn't, like, by yourself. So they empowered me. So then once they did that, I was like, get on a plane, get in a car, drive, girl, I'll be back. Mom, my mom was like, what you mean? You finna go where? Girl, I'm finna go so-and-so. St. Teresa. Girl, it'll be all right. I'll be back.
Have you done that with yours? With your mini?
Oh, she can go wherever she wants to. And she ain't been by herself necessarily yet, but if she say, Mom, I want to go so-and-so, okay, girl, bye. I'll see you when you get back. Something to do for me.
I don't think I ever had that opportunity.
I traveled by myself, but it was always to go family members whenever I got where I was going, but never.
And the last time I went somewhere, quote unquote, by myself is when I went to Arizona to go meet up with a guy I went to school with. My mama had already met this person. We were cool. This man was about to get engaged to his girlfriend. I just needed a break. And I was like, ooh, I'm gonna come see you because I ain't seen you in a long time. What we gonna do? And we went to Vegas and went to the Grand Canyon. But my parents had a fit. And I was just trying to figure out, y'all have met this person. Like my daddy in the car on the way to the airport, like, now who is this? We need to have his address and his. And I looked at him like, I am 40 years old, sir. Get out of here. I wasn't 40 yet. I was like 39, 38. But still, I'm 40 years old. What do you mean? And I was like, Mama, you've met this person. What? And they had a fit. Like I was just, I don't know.
Yeah, and I can say I probably wouldn't take an international trip by myself right now because I'm a Black woman and they barely like us over here. And then them folks be getting on planes and going over there too. So
nah, they like us better in other places.
I said the ones that don't like us be getting on the planes and going to them places too. So right now, they traveling too. Like they getting on the planes to go over there too. So right now, like at this particular sectionality, not it depends on the international. Like now, I'm going to South Africa in 2023 by my whole self. I ain't decided if I'm gonna take her.
That's gonna be so much fun.
But I'm going, and I don't know nobody. But I'm going for 2 weeks. I'm going to the South of Africa, and so. But I'm going home. You know, I'm going kind of home. I'm kind of going home. So I'm cool with kind of going home. But it's certain. I have to the international right now. Depends on the international. It depends on that. It just depends on the international place, because I can't go strapped.
Right.
I like.
think I'd go to the islands by myself.
I mean,
like,
yes,
I would.
I can
The
do
way
that.
I plan it for myself is take a trip within by myself, and then after that, go to somebody's out of the country, all inclusive, and then after that, I'm gonna be one of the commoners. We just gonna be out here.
What's interesting to me is as as I talked to y'all about, I've traveled by myself. I don't know what made me feel so empowered. I started by going to school overseas. So then once I was there and I ain't know nobody, made friends at the school, that I think that empowered me in a way. But Tiffany, the way you described your parents, wanting to know where you are and stuff, I just kind of like ignored that type of stuff. But I bring it up because now that I'm a mother, I feel more of that pressure. Like, I feel like my travel has to be justified because I'm looking for childcare. So like, whereas I would just get up and go to wherever, like I would visit friends all over the country. Like, oh, I got a friend from college who lives in LA. Let me fly out and see her. Now I feel like because I would be asking my parents to keep my son, I have to like let them know where I'm going. And it has to be a trip that makes sense to them. And I've never experienced that until the last 4 years. Obviously I don't have to, but I feel it and I want to.
It's there. I get
Still confused to this day. I mean, and I think I'm more so confused from how I, as someone that does not have a child, how I view parenthood. Yes, I know that you care for your children, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, I've always seen it as most parents know their child, right? Like, you can have 3 to 4 different kids under the same roof, and they all require a different level of attention, care, such and such. And I'm just trying to figure out, is for this particular situation, is it just because I'm a girl?
So
it could be, but sometimes it's about the other people. They know you, but they don't know what other folks do.
Right. But at the same time, my parents also know that I've never gone anywhere, not on my own divulged information, not given all the stuff that they wanted. I've never gone anywhere without there being more than one person that I know, so that if some happens to go down, I got multiple places to take refuge. So I was just confused. Like, this has to be just because I'm a girl. And
you have to remember that it's a different climate. It's not the same. Women have been murdered and killed by dudes that they had whole relationships with, that folks thought that they knew, 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 that they knew. And so it's this thing like, I know my kid, and I, like you said, they not making, if I tell you this is where I'm going, this is where I'm gonna be. Like when the guy came here, baby, I had to talk my mama down. Like, she was about, Mama, okay, I need you. First of all, Mama, it's okay. Like, Mama, it's okay. Mama, I wouldn't let anybody come here that I don't, like, Mama, it's going to be okay. This is the schedule. This is where I'm going to be. Mama, it's fine. I just said, Teresa, you just said, well, whatever. Saying you just, Mama, it's okay. It's going to be okay. She really, and I get it now because it was different. Like 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't. She was just like, girl, all right, girl, just, you make me sick. Hey, she said, you make me sick, get in the car, but just tell me when you get there, you make me sick. It was that. But now, because the climate, it's literally, it has changed so much. Like, it's just.
Has it changed, or has media coverage and accessibility changed?
Well, that may be it, but
I can't even walk around my neighborhood really by myself. Like, and I mean it. Like, when I walk with my neighborhood group, if I get separated for a moment, it's a man walking up to me saying something creepy. It just happened this morning. But that aside, raise your hand on this call if you think that if you had you a Tiffany, you would give her some extra supervision.
I need to know why. No, we are not ending on that shit there. Hell no.